Retirement is something we all dream about this. Personally, I look forward to traveling a little bit more in retirement.
That'd be nice. For you, it might be the luxury of dictating your own schedule or spending more time with family. In order to have a successful retirement, you have to be educated about it.
Yeah, and that's a passion for Darrell Bryant. He's the president of Bryant Retirement Strategies and hosts Retirement Strategies Radio on KFAB. Good morning, Darrell.
Good morning.
Back.
How are you guys?
Oh, good,
you.
good to see you. You're always educating folks about retirement. We know
try.
that. So why is the knowledge piece so important to you?
Well, I think it's terribly important for people to go into retirement with their guns loaded. You know, you're going to really have to make a lot of very, very important decisions at the time you retire. I refer to it as just this gauntlet of decisions, and you really need to get all of them right. So there are a lot of things you need to coordinate, such as Social Security maximization, pension maximization if you have it, safer money management, generating income streams, RMDs, managing taxes. There's just a lot of things that have to come together for a successful retirement. Then setting up an income stream that we can take pay raises from to adjust for inflation, right, over the years, and then still not fear running out of money. So there are just a lot of things, and that's why we specialize.
You don't know what you're doing.
Right?
Well, I feel like this, you
There's
better
your
have
quick
an
laundry
expert.
list, yeah.
You better have a professional in your corner, right? Because otherwise, there's no way you're figuring all of that out on your own.
Yeah, it's terribly important. You know, the pension managers back in the 80s decided that they were really having a hard time getting things done, and so they shifted this onus of managing money and then developing a pension to the workers themselves by way of the 401k. And so now we have baby boomers moving in that have done a pretty good job at saving perhaps, but now they're supposed to turn around and figure out a way to what we might call pensionize their assets. And so it's certainly an area of specialty.
Yeah, times have changed a little bit. Okay, you want to play a game? Should we play this? We're going to play a game of financial fact or fiction.
Well,
so
we'll give it a shot.
I feel like we need some game show tones.
We do. Okay, let's start with the first one.
Okay.
Fact or fiction, most people will have a lower tax burden in retirement than they do in their working years.
That'd probably be a question mark. That's going to depend upon where you've been and where you're going, right? For example, let's say that you have a client who has had a pretty generous income, maybe a couple that has $200,000 or $300,000 a year income, and yet they really don't need that income. They've just been doing a good job of saving, and their retirement lifestyle might dictate that they only need, say, $80,000 or $90,000, right? Well, their tax bracket or burden might come down, right, when they get ready to retire. So it does vary from case to case. You are going to run into RMDs. I will say this: the largest expense for the retiree, believe it or not, is taxes. It's the largest expense. Income taxes. Yeah, state.
Property taxes too, huh?
Property taxes, sales taxes, auto taxes. The list goes on and on. So that's one thing that you do need when you set up your retirement budget. Make sure and factor in the knowns, and one of those is taxes.
Let's go to the next round.
All right.
Financial fact or fiction. All financial advisors are the same.
I would say that's certainly not true. I think that understandably, there are those people who might consider themselves to be generalists, right? And they might see all age ranges, right? They might see a 35-year-old in the morning and a 65-year-old in the afternoon, and it's my opinion that would cause a bit of a disconnect. In other words, we certainly don't want to view a 65-year-old as we do a 35-year-old, because it's a different stage of life. And again, we go right back to this coordination of all of these components that have to come together. It's really much more complicated to work with a 65-year-old who is wanting to set up his income generating plan and coordinate all these components than it is to work with somebody who's 30 years old and just wants to throw some dollars into, and they were just navigating the market. So entirely different thing. I would strongly suggest a specialist for whatever stage of life you're in, and we happen to do specifically retirement.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Like, there's no two co-hosts that are the same, right? That's for sure.
True.
All right, fact or fiction, bonds are significantly less volatile than stocks.
That would be, that's inaccurate. So here's how you would view stocks. First of all, safe money right now is very difficult. We know interest rates are very low currently. So where are we supposed to go to put our dollars for safe harbor? The go-to maneuver typically would be bonds. Well, let's understand that bonds have what we would call an inverse relationship to prevailing rates. Okay, so what does that mean? That means that if you own a bond, Mary, and let's say that bond is paying 3%, all right, and you decide one day that you want to sell that, okay? So we're having lunch one day and you say, you know what, I'll get rid of that bond. But interest rates have gone up since you bought that bond, right? Well, why would I want to buy your old crummy old 3% bond when I can go out and get a 4% bond or a 5% bond? So you can sell that bond certainly, but you're going to have to sell that at what we call a discount, right? By contrast, if you own a bond that's paying 6 and new interest rates are 3, well, you have a pretty nice piece of property then, don't you? Okay. So the underlying value of existing bonds can vary. The problem currently is that people are going to what we would call junk bonds or non-investment grade bonds in search of some kind of a return. They see the name bond and they think it's safe. Well, junk bonds or non-investment grade bonds have the possibility of absolute default, don't they? Because they're non-investment grade bonds. It might be smaller companies.
We had more to talk to you about, but I'd like to get to the special offer, if you don't mind.
Sure.
Because I feel like this is going to be really special for some of our viewers who are at or near retirement watching right now. So you have reserved some space for them to really review what they've got going on. What do you cover in these reviews?
Well, the way we phrase it is you throw your stuff in a box and come on in, right? Grab your files and come on in. We're going to take our new clients and your viewers from where they are currently to a customized retirement plan, an income generating plan for them. So we're going to look at all of their current positions, X-ray, what we call X-raying, 401ks, all of their IRAs, annuities, various accounts. We're going to help them to consolidate, to coordinate, and then see where they are in relationship to a very successful retirement where we can bring the stress level down, and that only happens if we have an income plan.
Yeah, makes a lot of sense. More information right there on the screen, Bryant Retirement Strategies.com. And if you want to take advantage of that special offer, give them a call. The number is right there on the screen. Also, Darrell, you join us each, what is it, Friday?
Thursday.
Thursday. What is today?
Thursday.
Today's Thursday. And listen to it Saturday and Sunday mornings on KFAB.
That's a great offer,
Darrell, good to see you.
Darrell. Thank you so much.
You betcha. You guys have a great day.
Yeah,
You too.
too.
All right, so